Hey everybody, how we doing today?
Morning, everybody.
Joe here.
Kevin.
Um, so the last episode of Schitt's Creek was, I feel like, kind of different from what they've done thus far.
How so?
So we got well, the guy who cameoed in the show, Henry's Cherney, he's kind of one of the bigger stars they've had in the show.
Right.
However, I don't know, the whole pacing of it just felt a little different, and also we kind of saw Alexis backslide a little bit, but also I don't think it was supposed to be dark. It's interesting, like elements at play in this last episode.
I don't know that I would. I don't. I mean, obviously, she was making questionable choices,
Yeah,
but I don't know if I would go full on backslide simply because by the end you realize she's perfectly aware of it.
that's the thing.
You
It's
know,
like
I think she's self medicating
they set you up to
with
think
Artie.
that's what's happening, right?
Right. Yeah.
And
You
they
think she's
completely want it.
backsliding. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I did not see it going that way at
Sure.
all. Um, also, Moira being full blown manic the last episode, the egging,
Oh,
and
that was
just
great. The commercial at the end. We kind of made fun of the fact that Moira called it the town where I currently am in the commercial, and I saw someone pointed out
yeah,
that she never actually says Schitt's Creek in the.
never.
And I was thinking about it, I was like, I'm not sure anybody in the family does except Johnny. I don't know that I've ever heard
I don't think so
David
either.
or Alexis say it either.
I'm trying to
They
think.
might have, but the only one I can really think of that said it is Johnny, and he said it multiple times.
Definitely in the first season for sure.
Right. The dinner where the obnoxious ex friends of theirs were getting the name of the town wrong and everything.
That was a great episode.
Yeah, absolutely wonderful episode.
Yeah.
No,
But also,
I don't know. I was kind of cool with Alexis, and again, different strokes.
by the end of the episode, I was
right. I was all the way through, honestly, simply because Artie was so different than Ted.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And I feel like there's the trope of I got dumped by this guy or this girl, so I'm going to date someone that looks or is or largely exactly like them.
Right.
As my healing balm.
Yeah.
And she obviously went a completely different direction away from
Big time.
from Ted.
Yeah.
And I think that was just part of the journey of getting past it. And I also
Sure.
kind of feel like some people, that is what they need, right? Some people won't need to be alone immediately, like I need to be alone and focus on myself, and I totally respect and get that. Other people, it's like I feel like I'm completely untethered and that no one will ever want me, so I'm going to date someone right away briefly just to know that the world is still out there for me when I'm done.
And I agree with you. I think that why it's different is because we had this image of Alexis before, right? Like she dated all these guys,
Right.
and now we know it's because she really doesn't want to be alone.
Sure.
She kind of wants that person to, I don't want to say accept her, but I think
That's fair.
I think she wants companionship.
Sure. I think that's fair. That she doesn't want to be alone.
But
I
the
think
best
that's
part
okay though.
of the show is that we've seen her kind of discover her own independence,
Sure.
and grow and be the most. I mean,
sure.
Honestly, out of all the kids, she probably has her head on straight out of all of them. You know, what I mean?
I agree, but I don't necessarily think that wanting to feeling the need to want to be in a relationship necessarily is a sign of progression. I mean, there's a million married people who are completely content and happy.
Like I said, I don't think she backslid throughout the episode, but in the beginning we're like, oh no, here we go.
Right.
But by the end, it kind of came around.
Right. Yeah. No, I kind of felt like it was all fine. Everyone has their different journeys, and
it was a great episode.
It's not wrong for someone to be like, I want to be in a relationship. I don't want to be alone. Like that's not inherently a sign of weakness. Most people, do it. There's a healthy way and an unhealthy way to do it, though. Of course.
Yeah.
We all know, serial monogamists who it's like, I have to be in a relationship all the time. Now that I'm single, oh crap, I'm completely untethered and don't know who I am.
Yeah.
But I didn't ever feel like that's the route Alexis was going personally. I just felt like, okay, she's just going through some steps that are going to help her get past the horrible loss of Ted. Because it's terrible. They did love each other.
So old.
Right, exactly. Yeah, exactly. It sets up a lot of comedy with the rest of the family.
Yeah.
But I just felt like, well, because of that, for the same reason Alexis says at the end, he's not really a threat to be around a long time, right? No. I don't feel like that Alexis was like, I hope I get that ring on my finger soon from Artie.
Quickly, do you think that Johnny was out of line?
No, I think he handled it well. I think there are two routes you can go. You can stay out of it completely and say Alexis is doing her thing, let her do her thing. She's an adult. Or you can kind of be like, hey, just
sure.
What he said to Artie wasn't wrong. Hey, she's very fragile right now because of the relationship.
Yeah.
Just so you know. And then that allowed Artie to have the information and make his own decision that he didn't want that, which I think is fair. Yeah. I think Alexis should have told him that.
She should have.
So but that's just, Artie's a person too with feelings. He deserves to have all the information too. Yeah, absolutely. All right, we do want to go ahead and welcome. Sorry, my handwriting was awful as I was doing this morning. Simon Bairstow, Sarah Stahl, Rufus May, Cobain Vagabond, Dan Dolan, and Cycles of Change. I think that's an N. Or charge. We're going to say change. Welcome, guys. We're very, very happy you're here with us on our Patreon group.
Yes, we are. And if you guys are watching us on YouTube for the first time, welcome to our channel.
Hello.
If you don't mind hitting the like button for us, please leave us a comment down below and hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on the new content we've coming your way.
Yeah, if you'd like to see a full-length reaction to this and everything else we've watched or are watching, please check out a link in the description below to our Patreon page. We're at least 4 episodes ahead of all shows over there, which means by the time you're seeing us on YouTube, we have finished Schitt's Creek probably on Patreon. We are sadly about at the end here. You'll have to stream and watch along on your own device. You will only see and hear us for copyright purposes. We're also doing 30 Rock right now as a Patreon exclusive. All right. For those of you back with us on Patreon,
we'll be starting Dairy Girls after this.
Yeah, are we doing the 3 Christopher Guest movies?
Oh yeah, I totally forgot. Dairy Girls is coming, but we're gonna do some Christopher Guest movies.
As a follow up to Schitt's Creek, we're not going to do. Oh my God, I'm totally blanking out.
It's Waiting for Guffman.
Yeah, we're not doing Spinal Tap because I've seen it 1,000 times and love it. Right. But we are going to do the 3 after that. Guffman, Best in Show, and A Mighty Wind.
A Mighty Wind. Yeah.
There's a 4th one for your consideration, which I've been told.
Yeah, I've never seen
the last one. Just stay away from it. So the other 3, the reason we're doing those, of course, is the use of
Eugene Levy and
Catherine O'Hara throughout those 3 movies. We were told we cannot miss those.
And I'm excited.
Yeah. All right.
I've got the tasting for the wedding this afternoon. Don't want to spoil my appetite.
Oh.
What's that about?
You're using the cafe for catering?
Well, the food for the wedding is my gift to David, so it's really his decision.
Wow, Johnny blew that all over the place.
She wasn't invited to the wedding?
Well, you certainly fixed that problem for yourself.
Tibby Bernstein was the executive producer on Sunrise Bay. What?
She's getting off. She's back. Yep. Yeah.
Oh,
faces, everyone.
I take back everything I said about her journey.
Alexis.
Oh no.
Okay, so maybe she is going through it a little more than I thought. Yeah. But again, everybody's process. Yep.
The boss you're going to come to when you don't understand why this guy is making you read about VHS tapes.
Not exactly the United Front.
Ronnie found termite damage in room 6,
and
apparently the entire foundation's about to collapse.
How are we going to cover these costs?
Well, I gave one of my kidneys to my cousin Bruce. We could see how I run on an empty tank.
Well, we're not burning anything down, and we're not selling any organs. We're knee-deep in this now. We just have to figure out where we're going to find the money.
This season is weird. You're great in it, but I forgot how bad Clifton Sparks was.
He's totally going to be on the show too, isn't he?
He's got to be.
Yeah.
It's fine. I'll just throw on some clothes.
No, I insist. Mommy can handle this one all by herself.
His face.
The camera. Oh my God, that was so good. Weird. I bet actors love doing bad acting in movies for stuff like that.
Mr. Rose, this looks pretty fancy.
Like, I bet making The Disaster Artist is a blast for everybody.
I know you have the motel to worry about.
Well, I can't back out now, Stevie.
Yes, you can. Tell your son. Yeah.
So what if Moira saves the day here? She gets a new role, she's like, Johnny, we got the money.
Wow, this is quite the spread. Looks very impressive, son. Expensive, but impressive.
Yeah.
Are these prices per table?
Per plate. And speaking of, we are adding 8 more plates. I was finally allowed to invite some friends from New York. They're a caviar crowd.
It's just going to be so expensive.
They have duck too. I've never been to a wedding where they serve duck.
No. I've had duck at restaurants and I paid like $35 for the plate.
It's delicious, but still.
Solved! Yeah.
Wow! I mean,
they're getting everybody now.
Town, but look at you.
Tippy, you're as alive as ever.
He's gonna get out of
No, don't get up.
No, don't worry about it. Cured that vertigo years ago.
There he is, yeah.
Looking luscious as always.
I just cannot get enough of you, Moira. That crow picture. I mean, who'd have thought?
Oh, let me guess. A reunion.
You know, it's much much better.
Some sort of televised event.
You want to reboot Sunrise Bay?
Oh, full.
Oh, yeah.
Who?
No, it's big co-production.
Have you forgotten that Vivian was killed off?
When has that ever stopped us?
Well, the last time I shredded.
That's why we have writers.
I mean, if she takes this is their out from Schitt's Creek at the end.
So what if she turns it down?
She might.
Why did they kill off your character after you had just given birth to your 9th child and escaped from that cave with that secret about your lover?
Who was a ghost, yes.
A lot of fans who think that Clifton Sparks had you written off the show because he was jealous. Okay, you watch this video and tell me who you think he's referring to then. Come.
Let's just say someone reminded the producers that there's only room for one head of surgery.
I've been asked to resuscitate Vivian so that she may live again in a prime time reboot.
They need you. And all I'm saying is, as your publicist and your daughter, and now the moderator of the Sunrise Bay Fan Forum, there is more to this story. Just remember that there is nothing wrong with asking for what you deserve.
Yeah, have her negotiate for you.
Yeah. Last part I agree with.
Yeah.
You're the hook.
She was the star, you know?
Yeah.
What show works after the star leaves?
Right. You think she goes back and says, I'll do it if Clifton's not there? Because she could.
That'd be interesting, actually.
Oh, hi.
I can't believe he took the food
Hi.
after he's
Oh,
definitely
still
going to
eating
not
the
hire these
tenderloin.
So
people.
funny.
Well, they were just going to throw it out, David.
I think you should tell David.
Yeah, he needs to. The longer you wait, the worse it is.
You don't have to pay for anything if it's going to be a strain.
This is great.
David,
Don't.
I said I would cover the food.
That was a pride moment. He should have been honest right there.
I
You know
know.
what? That would really help. We just found out this thing. That's it. That's all you have to say.
I don't understand how they're going to get this money.
Right.
They're going to have to sell it again.
I'm going to get some air, Stevie.
It feels so bad
That's
for
really
him.
sad.
He does need to tell David, but I really do feel bad for him.
This happens, you know? Businesses,
Yeah.
they hit speed bumps, you know?
This doctor would rather nurse her potable, if you don't mind. Best to stay lucid for our Congress.
Over and contract negotiations go sour all the time.
What would you know about my contract?
Why would... Look, Moira, there were a lot of egos back then, and I was a different man. That was before my liver transplant. Your star was rising, and I was maybe jealous. I want you to consider this offer as my amends. And if you sign on, then we can all get back to doing what we love.
Now, Mr. Bernstein, I have a few demands.
Good for her.
I stand by the decision to expand our business, but at this point, I think our only option is to sell the second motel. And
What if we bought
Still rolling.
30 more motels right now? We're not going to make any money off of 2 or 3 locations. We're only going to start seeing the real money at 20 or 30 locations.
That's
You
awesome.
did this before, Mr. Rose. I think you can do it again.
So how was the meeting?
You, Alexis,
Slipped in a
are
crystal
on
the whole
shrewd
episode.
little Reynard. You were right about Clifton.
So you still said yes?
I did, but on the condition that Clifton be written off the show. Death of my choosing. Thank you for removing my rosy lunettes so that I might see Clifton for who he really is.
Okay, well, I got that wrong.
I need Sunrise Bay in my life.
Yeah, first off, it's ridiculous. But yeah, now I don't know what's going to happen with her because they gave her an opportunity to leave Schitt's Creek there, and it looks like she's not going to take it.
Well, look, other opportunities around the corner for
Sure.
her. You know, I mean, she's still making headlines. they said.
Yeah, if she's like a rising star again, then absolutely.
I'm kind of excited for everybody now. Like Johnny about to buy 30 motels. Like,
Right.
Oh my god,
It's kind of like
I never even considered that.
no, it's kind of like Pulp Fiction. After Travolta did Pulp Fiction, all of a sudden offers, and that really like resuscitated his career big time. It kind of feel like that's what this is with Moira.
That's
you
a
know,
great example, actually.
Yeah, it's just
biggest comebacks of all time.
huge, all because of one. Especially when you like, there's the one role, the one performance you can look at that really did it. Kind of like Brendan Fraser now with The Whale. You know, here's the one thing that he did that's going to like completely swing that.
Yeah, hopefully it works out for. I mean,
Right.
honestly, I mean, I don't know where they're going with this because that was episode 10.
We've only got a few left. Like
That's what I'm
I think 3, maybe.
3, 2.
Yeah.
So they're kind of cramming in a lot. Also,
They have to, right?
I like the fact that we're getting like recognizable faces on the show.
Oh, that was great.
All the actors we've had in the show have been fantastic.
Sure.
and it's really nice that it's kind of I don't want
A
to
lot
say
of lesser knowns getting an opportunity.
lesser knowns, but also it makes it feel more down home because there's no recognizable faces really.
Yeah.
And now that they're kind of having success and rising again, we're starting to get more and more faces.
Sure.
Now, I recognize that Henry Czerny is not like a household name,
Right.
but you know,
We all recognize him as
Exactly,
as a famous character actor, though. Sure.
literally growing up watching 90s action movies,
Right. He
I
was there a
like,
lot,
oh,
yeah.
that guy, you know?
Mhm.
And so I was kind of, jazzed about that in the last episode.
Absolutely.
So to see these two actors in this episode, I don't know. Is the next couple episodes going to have some more faces we recognize? Where are we going with this season? You know?
Well, I think based on what we saw there, we can at least expect one more important character we haven't met yet, and that is at least one investor that
Johnny
Johnny's going
knows.
to meet with.
Yeah.
There's no way anybody. I mean, they own Schitt's Creek, which means no one there has the kind of money to buy 20 or 30 hotels.
No.
Right. So they're going to have to go somewhere else to get. I mean, you're talking probably investment of a couple $1 million. At least, you know. So they're going to have to leave Schitt's Creek. We're going to have to see somebody we haven't seen on the show before that Johnny knows probably, which is an opportunity. There will be definitely be a new character or characters.
There could be several.
Yeah, absolutely.
There could be several people. Yeah,
but we just. I like that idea. I didn't consider the fact that Johnny Rose's bounce back, and it makes perfect sense for the show, right? Coming full circle.
Yeah.
His bounce back is franchising just like he did with his video stores, except
on himself.
Motels like shit, like where they've been living in Schitt's Creek. I think that's utterly brilliant.
So do you think they all leave? I mean, I don't know.
I don't think they can. You know, the idea of all four of them staying together would kind of negate a lot, I feel like, of how they've learned and grown on the show, right?
Sure.
That they've all grown into be more complete, empathetic, and independent people than they used to be, especially David and Alexis. So my guess at this point is that Alexis is going to leave town and David's going to stay.
Yeah.
Right.
Like we talked about. Yeah.
Right. David's probably going to stay and have his life with Patrick that he's building. Alexis is probably going to leave because she's clearly really cut out for this PR job.
Sure.
And we don't know, you know, Moira's acting career. And I don't know if Johnny is getting him to buying 30 hotels, if staying in Schitt's Creek's necessary or practical. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It's possible, you know, when you invest like that, like I've worked for restaurants before, when you have a 30, 40 location kind of franchise group, you operate wherever you want to operate, you know, it's like, you don't live around you don't have to live anywhere near your restaurants.
Yeah.
This could be a thing where they open up an office
somewhere
in a city, right?
Glendale, or even outside of wherever this rural area is.
I mean it's completely possible that honestly, Moira, Johnny, and Alexis all go to like LA or New York together, right?
Oh yeah.
So sure. Alexis would still work for Moira. Moira would have her acting career, and Johnny would run his offices for his hotel franchise group. Now I don't know if that means
or Toronto,
wherever, right? I don't know if that means what that means for Stevie or Roland if they leave too, or if they stay. I mean, I'm not sure how that would work.
I think Stevie would go because Johnny sees something in her. She's kind of his protege, honestly. In many ways.
And I don't think she's completely married to Schitt's Creek either.
No, she wanted to get out.
She said it many times.
That awful airline job.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and you could even leave Roland back here to do the local operations or whatever.
Right.
Those would be smart.
Well, because then you get into moving Jocelyn and the baby, and they've got their own life in town.
I was thinking, how nice would because I never considered them moving out of the hotel, which obviously they should eventually. You know, what if they bought a house in Schitt's Creek or like a piece of land or something? You know, I mean,
that's possible.
If they're millionaires, they could easily buy some sort of property there. And then, like,
it would take a massive investment, but yeah, they're a ways away from being millionaires.
This is our summer home. We come back to Schitt's Creek, and we see everybody. I don't know. The show could go in a million directions with only a handful of episodes left.
Yeah.
And it's like, I've always loved the show.
Yeah,
but I'm genuinely excited to get.
Yeah, they're obviously setting up big changes for some of the characters, but they're not really tipping their hat into what it's going to be.
And that's a good thing.
It is. It's great. There's nothing worse than a show that when it starts rolling towards the end, you know exactly. Yeah, everything's very, very telegraphed exactly how it ends.
Yeah.
Especially shows the ones that tend to keep the ending pretty vague often blow the ending.
Or some kind of mystery. We're like, oh, that guy did it.
Right. but I'm just saying, like, the ones that do keep it pretty vague often trip all over themselves at the end. Lost is an example of a show I haven't seen. Yeah. The Sopranos is an example of one. I've not seen one of these shows, but I know everyone hated the endings.
Lost, yes. Sopranos, still okay. Fine, still divided. I'll give you that.
It's divided. Yeah, there's a lot. There are plenty of people that say I do not like the ending. I remember when it happened. Again, I'd never watched the show. I remember people were freaking out, angry with how they ended it.
I think with time, everything.
Sure, of course, right? Yeah, perspective and all of that, right?
But anyways, yeah, this final season, It's in contention for the best season of the series so far.
Yeah,
I
it's
think.
great. There is a lot of intrigue with this one, a lot of building up excitement.
I enjoy it, and I love that we're getting more Sunrise Bay.
Oh, yeah,
Like that was hilarious.
Yeah.
The fact they're actually shooting scenes from Sunrise Bay, I'm like, yes,
I really
just give
feel
me an episode.
yeah, I feel like with Moira turning that down, that doesn't change the fact that she is an in-demand actress now, and she's
Sure, of course.
definitely a commodity.
How
as
many
a
actors
performer.
have said no to like rebooting their old franchises
all
or
the time?
and some actors should have said no. Like
Right.
Bruce Willis should have said no to the
To the
Die
Die
Hard
Hard
sequels,
movies,
you know?
right, yeah.
But it's not a bad thing. We don't need a reboot after reboot after reboot. So just
Well,
give me something
there,
else.
there have been, people have been asked. The cast of The Office has been asked more than once to reboot
Steve
the
Carell
show.
said no.
Yeah, they've said no. So John Krasinski said no. Also, I'm sure a lot of them did.
Mm-hmm.
Friends, right? There've been a lot of talk about trying to get reunions done with Friends. Obviously, that never happened. No one was overly into it. So I mean, yeah, it gets pitched, and sometimes people turn it down, which is totally fine because I miss the days where
When something ends, just
when something ends, right?
and 30 years go by, and it's like it's
Yeah.
back.
Oh, I mean, seriously, do you think a movie like The Goonies could be made today and have the success it did, and they wouldn't do 4 sequels?
No, it'd be TV. It'd be like Stranger Things.
Yeah, exactly. They would
That's this generation's
great.
Goonies.
Oh, wait, that was a hit. Now we're gonna do Goonies 2, Goonies 3, Goonies 4.
They could have milked it.
Yeah, they could have. Or Breakfast Club. Excuse me.
I don't just see that. You know what I mean?
No.
Like it'd just be sad. You're like,
That's what I'm saying though. There was a time when you could have a hit movie or hit TV show and just let it die.
Yeah.
And like that was it. It was a contained story and it's done. Now I'm not saying for 1 second that Sunrise Bay is a work of art because it sounds like it was walking hot garbage. But it's the kind of hot garbage that I would watch as a train wreck.
Peter Falk
Peter Falk voicing a cave. Yeah. All right, guys. We'll catch you in the next one.